Lunch.
You are looking live.
Live at Lunch. Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
What the hell's going on out here?
Now, here's Jimmy Ott and Charles Hannegriff.
For some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live? Is it live? Is it live?
From the original Walk-Ons, Burbank at Nicholson, welcome to the Thursday edition of Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Hannegriff, Jimmy Ott, Jordan Kinch's back in the studio. Glad to have you with us. Colucci with us at the bottom of the hour. Henry Hayes on the NBA playoffs. Plenty of that going on. SEC softball tournament right now. LSU behind 1-0 in the fourth inning on Oklahoma. This is a quarterfinal of a single elimination tournament. Oklahoma has won the last 4 national championships in softball. They've won 6 of the last 8 national championships in softball. Their head coach, Patty Gasso, has won 8 national championships in softball. They're good. They're not quite as good this year as some of their championship teams. The team 2 years ago went 61-1, which is just ridiculous. But this year, they're considered to be. Jimmy, does this remind you maybe UConn women's basketball or maybe Tennessee women's basketball, Iowa wrestling back in the day as just one of the most juggernaut programs in anything? And this year they're considered mortal. They still won the conference, but they've lost 7 games, okay? Just to give you an idea, they lost 7 games in the conference this year. That's the total conference games that they had lost the last 4 years in the Big 12. So they're considered somewhat mortal, but they're still
No, you committed a good
great.
call in South Carolina women's basketball this year.
Yes,
it's a
that's
similar deal.
Mm-hmm.
They're number 1. South Carolina was number 1, for a big stretch, So, I mean, it's and they proved that, not just because they finally lost, but, man, they much earlier in the tournament where they're beating teams by 30 or 40, they had all they could handle in the Sweet 16 in the regional final. All they could handle.
No, they did. This team, they have been to the finals of the College World Series, the 7 of the last 8 seasons that we've completed, throw the COVID year out. They've won it 6 of the 7 times. They're just ridiculously good.
It's definitely a home field advantage playing in Oklahoma City.
It does help, yeah.
I mean, it does, but they're just
they beat the crap out of everybody.
This is their deal. I'm sure over time they probably have. I'll just take a stab, but they're probably their low player budget, NIL they call it. I don't know why. Player budget is probably more than anybody else's.
It probably is. But you know what?
Softball. She had
won 4 national titles before NIL was a thing.
I understand. So, LSU won national championships in baseball before it was a thing.
Yeah.
Well, how's their? But the success, people want to support success.
Yeah, absolutely.
People love a winner, Charlie.
They probably have a hell of a debate every summer in Norman about what's the more dominant program, the softball or the gymnastics. And the softball's got them, but not by a lot, because that gymnastics program, who won it again this year, is absolutely fabulous. I mean, Oklahoma football's one of the biggest traditions in all of the sport, and the softball and the gymnastics are like so dominant.
Well, the football player budget's still going to be more. Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
It is.
But
Oklahoma plays another run. It's 2-0.
Colucci, is he dancing? He's a Knicks fan. He'll try and short Michael Jordan. He's got some Knicks in his blood.
He was on the phone with Stephen A. this morning. I think Stephen A. may be the only person more excited than Colucci, right? Stephen A., Spike Lee, Colucci.
Yeah, I mean, they're Charlie. They losing the whole game against Detroit in Game 1. Detroit, who the last time, remember what it was? The last time they won a playoff game. Remember? We're talking about that when they split.
Yeah.
It was like 25 years. They barely survived Game 1, opening round, against a team that hadn't won a playoff game, not a series, a game in 25 years. and they're dancing in the streets and going crazy. This crap?
Yeah.
The last 2 games in Boston? Oh, Massaro, yes. It is meltdown hot. It's.
Can we just put Massaro and Colucci on the phone together? We just sit back and let them do the segment, man. We don't have to.
All you need is a volume control.
Right, we don't have to worry about it. I missed last night. I thought that the Celtics would bounce back and win game 2. There's always at game 1, the feeling out process, sometimes even a little bit. I'm not going to say the Knicks win was flukish, but Boston missed more shots than anybody had ever missed in a playoff game. And some of that was defense, and some of that was that they just missed shots. I thought both home teams, both favorites, would bounce back easy, strong last night. Got half of that right. The Celtics are up 20 again. They were up 20 in game 1.
They bounced. I mean, they're up 20 in the second half.
Yeah.
I mean, they're up 14 or 16 very late. But when it gets down to single digits. Guys like Mikal Bridges, their eyes light up. I mean, what is he, a honey badger at the end of the game?
And
he's just ripped the ball away
twice.
The last 2 games with the game on the line.
And he was really struggling offensively in this game. He talked about it afterwards. He said, man, I got to be engaged defensively to get my – he scored a little bit in the fourth quarter, but he was really off.
14.
Right. But he – a little bit. It's 0 before that. Okay,
well, what did he have in the first game until overtime?
And he's
basically nothing there.
He's got to focus in, and he makes. But
he's the guy you start with as far as they're lifting their game up when it's coming in as crunch time. Yeah. And you can see the Celtics; they're timid as hell. Now listen, it's the easy narrative, and I'm sorry, but they're still just settling for threes. Even Barkley and them, dude, they shot 38% twos in game 1. They shot 57% twos last night. That's a considerable increase. All right? I mean, 40 out of 94 as compared to 37 out of 97. It's 17 more shots from 2. Problem is, Charlie, some of their finishes, there were 3 straight possessions where they attack the rim, they're going to the goal. It's not layups. It's sort of these contested shots at the rim, I'll say. Somewhere you drifted about 4 feet to the side. Not exactly layups. They're either getting them blocked or they're missing them. They're having problems finishing. Karl Anthony Towns is still a problem. Okay, if you got to try and zero in and try and get him into foul trouble. He's going to give you 1 or 2 cheap ones. He's done it every game, but you got to try and attack him a little bit more. He is a problem on both ends of the court. The other thing is, they don't Tatum. These guys are. Jaylen Brown tried to finish and tried to tomahawk one last night, and couldn't even get it. OG Anunoby, he brought it was an offensive foul, it was a charge, but bro, they got some length, they got some rim issues, and so the easy one, I just keep settling for threes. If Jason Tatum is wide open and this guy stumbles, he's got to pull it from 3. Now Pritchard got into a little stretch where he was good from 3. No, him shooting with 8-10 feet beyond the arc is too much. He couldn't even draw iron. But some of these are just, how do you not take a 3? And there's a little bit of dare factor, but man, you can see the Boston, the visibly tight down the stretches in both of these games. Compare the 2 teams in their aggression and just, does Brunson want the ball? What is tight? A guy like Mikal Bridges, yes. He can't throw it into the ocean for 3 quarters. But man, when it's on the line, how good is he?
Right. I think you're onto something more with the shot contests around the rim. And let's give our Chalmette guy some credit, too, here. Mitchell Robinson.
Oh, he's a rim defender as well.
And he makes a big play on the final play where he forces Tatum into the help. And they had missed the same switch the possession before that where Tatum gets a dunk, and then he forces him into the help, and Robinson is 7 foot. He's 250 pounds.
Bad job on the Boston bench. You knew they were doing the same thing.
And
everybody in the world, come on, the last possession. How predictable was that? It's a little easier to defend when you could predict it. They got caught up the first time. They were going to get caught up the second time.
Right, and give Robinson credit as well as Bridges. The second thing is the threes in the first game were egregious, okay? You shot 60 three, and you made 15. Last night
you shot 20 less.
Yeah, and
that's a big adjustment.
What do you think the Celtics average? Because this is how they got there. What they average in the regular season? How many threes did they average shooting per game? I had to look this up. I didn't know, but
probably 46.
It's 37.
That's it. Wow.
And they make 12 of them. Okay, 33% is what they shot.
It equates into exactly 50%, which is good.
That's in the postseason. I should say.
I would think more.
In the regular season, it was 30. It was
40.
It was 48. Okay. So it's going down. It's going down the postseason.
You settle more. It is more of a 3-point shooting contest. We talked about this all the time. It's more diverse in the postseason. They are attacking the rim a little bit more, but the 60 is way above their regular season average by a lot, which is, but that's how they built that lead as well. Just shooting threes, they were hot. Well, when it got tight, they cooled off, and but that's on their coach too. It's at the 6 in a row, 7 in a row. You say, okay, we got to attack the rim. Not 19 in a row. That can't. You come on. You got to be a factor on the bench.
And they weren't. I don't.
But they adjusted, Charlie. They were way more. They're part of their. They want to be balanced. They're a balanced team. They're not a. But they've got this particular matchup. It's not just like Donovan Mitchell going to the rack against Indiana, where he's getting points for the free throw line almost every time. That's not happening here. When they attacked the rim, there were several times, they got some points. They got their points sometimes, but sometimes they didn't come close to making it because there's some finishing issues in this particular matchup.
Now let's talk about the handicapping of this, the whole round in the NBA playoffs.
I came back with -10 again last night.
I did,
and I was on my way. But again, if you're leaving the hedge middle,
that's what I want to talk about.
Yeah,
because usually. I'm not a big game better. I'll do it every now and then. I know this is something that you very strongly believe in. Well, you're getting paid off in this thing. If you're taking teams at a certain point where they are trailing in these playoffs, in this round of the playoffs, I'll let you explain it, but you are cashing significantly if you're just playing. Now it would have stung
you. It is preserving my sanity.
It would have stung you in the last game last night, but the 7 before that.
I've got anywhere from 3.5 to 9.5 point middles across the board when I could see. Okay, I mean these are giant middles. Okay, so the part of the middle is you're increasing your reward, your chance of payout and you're decreasing your risk. And the first thing about it is you're ensuring the original bet. And if you're not doing this on these games, God bless you. You know what I mean? So I was waiting for the OKC, but 13.5, 14.5, 16.5, 18.5. I mean, all these different middles and these hedges and these security. Absolutely. Absolutely. And this is the NBA. You have to. Listen, everybody can't sit there and watch every game and jump in at the point. I get it. But if you're going to make a wager that's you're going to have to. I mean, or decrease your wager and just be way more recreational. I mean, it's just that simple. But you have to be doing this in these games. Just last night, I mean, you were talking about Otterlocks, 0-3. 0-3. Okay, let's start off with Boston. Well, I mean, you got middles galore. My gosh, you had all kinds, because this comeback was late. And so you had 75 to 80% of the game where you had a hedge/middle opportunity. Okay, let's go to the Winnipeg Jets. They were plus 105, something like that. Okay, when they take the lead, you can take the other side, Dallas, for plus 270. That would have protected you. And then last night, the best is in the 8th or 9th inning with a 4-2 lead for Toronto. You can take the Angels at plus 800.
Oh, well.
Well, I mean, if you take just 10% of your bet.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about like just. I mean, they're all.
You're not hedging for the whole thing or for even half of the thing because it's not without risk. If you did this in the Nuggets Thunder game last night, you got stung because the Thunder.
Yes, you gave some back, and this is where the people, the anti-hedge middle people, say, "No, I'm not doing it." Now it's easy to say now, but I was about to jump in at 28-point lead, and I said, "Let me see him just get it down a little bit." They never did. So there was no sign. See, I waited for the Knicks to come show me a sign to get it to 16 from 20. I mean, there was never a sign that Denver and Oklahoma City. So, I mean, it works out like that. But, no, that's where the people – no, you just gave some back of your – and that's where I say, wait, why do you want to give up some of your position on it? If you watch the NBA, I mean, this is a different animal as far as the comebacks are concerned.
You'd have been 7 out of 8 in this round so far. The last one last night, the favorite.
I mean, it happened again.
And
I could not believe. And I'll say this: my son comes in and watches. It's about they get it down to 12, so they're kind of sniffing around. But it's like, oh, this is pretty much over, though, huh? I said, yeah, this one's over. Oh, it wasn't.
I thought Boston would bounce back and win that game easy last night, and they did not.
We're live. Arkansas, LSU. Last home series for LSU baseball this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we got some Arkansas fans over here already. Charlie dining up, getting ready for the game. Yes, if you just missed it, Arkansas spanked. They didn't just win; they didn't just sweep. I mean, they beat the Longhorns up beside the head with that broom, like my boy Paul Stone says at Texas alum. The A&M, nobody hates us like the Arkansas Razorbacks. Well, they took it out on them last week.
That's a strong statement, man. You know how many people hate Texas?
And Texas A&M people especially.
Yeah.
He said that. Yes, that's a strong statement. So anyway, man, they got crawfish going on. Got private boils going on. We got the tent set up. Man, it is This is your spot, getting you ready before, during, and after LSU Arkansas series, last SEC baseball series, home series for the season. So, all the things that everybody, LSU, man, this team, I don't know, man, it doesn't look like championship caliber. How are they, Charlie, in position for their top 8 national seed, which is the biggest thing right now?
If the selection
really
were today, they would be my guess they'd be about a 4 or 5.
Really good.
Yeah.
With cushion.
A little bit of cushion.
A little cushion for a top 8.
A little bit of cushion.
There you go.
You got
right.
you got to win. You got to win 4 of the last 6, but you're going to be favored in at least 5, if not all 6 of the games. So you're in pretty good shape. You just got to finish up. And LSU and Arkansas, probably the 2 biggest teams in the league this year as far as home and road splits. They've been dynamite at home. They're both 10-2 at home. Both have about 500 on the road. So LSU's got them where they want them as far as location tomorrow night.
Emotional spots even in college baseball. It's often a lot in football and basketball and baseball as well.
Yeah, that's
it's proven out. It's been hitting.
Arkansas's 30-3 at home. They're 7-5 on the road. So.
How did
NC
NC State do after that emotional sweep against Red Hot Clemson?
Went to Florida. Went to Miami and got swept.
Oh, how did Texas do after that emotional all 3 game one runs all 1-run wins and sweep? How'd they do?
They got swept first time this year, and A&M got swept and came back home and got a series from LSU. So. That's how it goes. Live at Walk-Ons, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
And we're back here at the original Walk-Ons live at lunch. 2-0 Oklahoma, bottom of the 5th inning at the SEC softball tournament. We got one SEC baseball game tonight. There's a little bit of a local angle here with South Carolina playing Auburn because, of course, South Carolina is coached by Paul Maneri. And we thought, at least yesterday this time, I thought that Auburn would throw their normal Friday night guy at South Carolina in Sam Dutton, who Paul Maneri recruited to LSU and spent his first 3 years at LSU and has had just an absolutely phenomenal senior season, an ERA of under 2.5. an all-conference type season. He's not the name that Witherspoon is, or Doyle is, or Anderson is, but the guy's got a 2.37 ERA on the season. Well, I thought that they would probably throw him tonight, even though it's a Thursday. They are not. They're going to throw Cam Tilley for game one here, a sophomore right-hander whose numbers are nowhere near as good as Sam Dutton. In fact, he's basically been an opener for them. He started the last 2 games, but he's gone 2 in 4 innings and given up 3 and 2 runs. For Dutton, his last 4 outings have all been very strong, and against some really good teams. At Tennessee, he threw 6 2/3 innings of 1-run baseball. At Texas, he threw 6 innings of 2-run baseball. Against LSU, that was at home. He threw 6 shutout innings. That's 3 of his last 4. They're going to hold him for tomorrow night, and I think the odds makers, Jimmy, really, as I did, thought that Dutton would throw tonight because Auburn is a massive favorite over a fading South Carolina team.
Yeah.
But they're not as good. They're not as good on the mound tonight with Tilley as opposed to Dutton. South Carolina's going to throw Brandon Stone. He's got an ERA at just over 5, but 3 weeks ago he threw one of the best games of the season for South Carolina, really in the whole league. He threw a complete game against Ole Miss. He only gave up 2 runs, and South Carolina won that game 3-2. It's been one of the few wins. They've only got 5 in conference. So Stone's capable. Now, outside of that start, the ERA, it swells well over 5. But Paul Maneri was actually asked this week about his job security. Kind of bristled at it a little bit. Yeah, the media asked him about it. Says, how's your situation? What, my situation? I'm the coach here, and I haven't been told differently. But Ray Tanner, 2-time national championship coach, South Carolina legend, retired as athletic director after he hired Paul Maneri. So the guy that hired him is no longer the boss there. It's a hefty buyout. It'd be over $5 million, and with the staff, it's over $6 million. But they got destroyed last weekend at home by Florida. I mean, just absolutely manhandled.
It was ugly, man.
It was. It got bad. And if they finish this thing poorly, and they got LSU next weekend, and LSU's going to need some wins there to lock the top 8 down. I don't expect LSU to sweep Arkansas this weekend for sure. So they're going to need wins there. He finishes out 1-5 or 2-6, goes 6-24. I can't guarantee you he's going to be back. So just a little bit of a local angle.
About half of his 5-year contract is guaranteed, so they'd be eating 4 years. It'd be like paying him for 2.
Yeah, so like $1.3 million a year for 4 years. So it's a little north of $5 million, and then they got to pay out the staff, which is about another $1 million. So it's about a $6 million. Yeah,
it'd be a bite. It'd be a bite. But
for baseball, that's a significant bite. For football, to throw that around.
But when 14 of 16 teams make it from your league, you're not one of them, and you're not close. I don't know. You give them more NIL budget, and you say, "Go, let's go get them one more time," right?
You might.
That's what LSU basketball did.
Yeah, I know. But year 3, Maneri's going to tell you, "Hey, look, my first year at LSU stunk too, and the second year we were in the College World Series, and that's true." Will they trust him to do that there? I don't know.
You're gonna have to lean on to your staff too, because it's a new ball game since he played as well.
Yeah, 3 years out of the league. He said, and he's taken heat for that comment. He said that the league is so much stronger than I expected, and he's taken heat for that comment. And when you're 5-20, whatever, I understand. 5-19, I understand why you're taking heat.
Yeah, no doubt. Don't forget our friends at Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Looking at the different doors. We got windows, doors, siding, and shutters. We're open 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, 288-8138. Or go to ReliefWindows.com and check out all of our stuff. You're looking at the doors, the exterior doors, French doors, the sliding glass doors, you name it. So, man, the doors can make a real impact on your curb appeal. There's no question about that. So, again, our selection of replacement doors are all created using the highest quality materials available, designed to provide secure and durable barriers between the outside and inside of your home. Come in a variety of materials, and all each unique. So, the non-rot, rot-resistant, warp-resistant, non-sticky doors, termite-resistant doors, durable exterior protection doors, wood interior from harm, and pre-finished exteriors. The pre-finished doors provide the longest possible lifespan for style of your doors as well. That means you won't need to worry about repairing them for a long, long time. That's what I love, man. Always a fight between an architect and the builder as far as the functionality, the durability, and how things look. So you got both and all of the products that they have over at Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and shutters, 288-8138 and reliefwindows.com.
4-0 Oklahoma in the fifth, and white smoke at the Vatican. We've got a new pope, so lots going on. We're at Walk-Ons, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
And today's show also brought to you by Coastal Capital Advisors, your full-service financial planners when it comes to retirement. No two situations alike, so Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you, your business partners, your legal team, tax professionals. Make sure all of your financial goals are in place. Coastal Capital Advisors will work for you, and I know for sure because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his staff, 337-981-1376. It doesn't matter what your age or your financial income. They'll tailor-make a plan that is right for you and your family. Online, it's coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, member FINRA, SIPC. The party's running. The party must have run late for the Knicks celebration.
I know. He's
in
trying to call
Vegas.
us. It's not ringing or something. I don't know.
Got an issue.
He's gonna think we're up to something here. You know, turn the ringer off the phone, you know, kind of deal. We don't want to hear all his Knicks crap
Well,
today.
we wouldn't do that unless the Cowboys won the Super Bowl. If that happened.
No doubt. He might be celebrating, Lynn Swann being picked up by the Cowboys in the offseason, huh?
Yeah, any
George Pickens. Okay.
They've made a pretty big deal out of that.
Golly.
Hey, it could work if he.
Oh, what?
It could work on the field.
You know what? The Knicks pulled one in the offseason. They took a big-ass headache.
Yeah.
Carl Anthony Towns.
Sure.
And I mean, he's out there.
It's time. It's now Colucci time. Dwayne Colucci is back to give his best picks on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
I mean, would you get to work? I know you've been up all night celebrating with that Johnny Walker Blue with the damn Knicks winning. I mean, where have you been?
You know, it's great. You guys, I have called in 500 times. You guys have called me. The last 2 weeks, your switchboard is a catastrophe, and you're blaming it on me at work.
We're blaming it on the Knicks. It's on the Knicks.
Just stop. It ain't over yet. You knew they were going to win. Once Paul Pierce said he was going to walk 22 miles. I tell you, I'm shocked, guys. I'm really shocked. I was perplexed. I didn't think they were going to win the game last night. But definitely when you start overvaluing these Celtics with this 10.5 constantly, it's a little out of range because the Knicks are the 3 seed, the Celtics are the 2 seed. You've seen what's happening to the Cavaliers. You saw what happened to OKC on the opening night, and you got to give these underdogs a chance. This is playoff NBA basketball, and the Knicks brought the defense last night. It doesn't have to be Brunson scoring 40 points, guys. You see Bridges stepped it up, 14 points in the fourth quarter, key block on Tatum, Brown non-existent, Kristaps non-existent. So Knicks are doing their job, but I'll tell you right now, they play better without pressure on the road. The Garden's going to have so many celebrities, so many superstars, and sometimes the Knicks really fold guys under that pressure, and that's where Thibodeau has some, coaching to do there to motivate these guys. Don't let the crowd influence you, and try and keep this Spike Lee off the court because he just motivates the other team. It's just, I love the guy to death. The guy's a great director. We don't take nothing away from him, but I've seen this guy for 30 years now, and he just motivates the opponent. It even happened to Rick Pitino. You guys seen, I tweeted that out. All of a sudden, now I'm a St. John's fan. St. John's loses his right to Oxford. It's incredible.
So you're not diving in the pool just yet, huh? You're not kicking that football where Lucy's going to pull it up for you. You're not. So you think Boston
I'm not that stupid.
Boy, I thought you'd be making reservations, huh, to get to the Mecca, for the finals, huh?
No, it's not over yet, guys. There's definitely a lot of basketball played, and you're dealing with the Boston Celtics. I mean, the world champions. They're so strong. They've had 20-point leads in both the games. Now, so did OKC. They both faltered in Game 1. Game 2, OKC laid the boom down, and Boston faltered again. So Boston needs to find scoring. It's amazing that I'm saying that, but they need to find somebody other than Tatum. When you dribble into the corner with 3 seconds left, you kind of have to put the ball up or, attempt to pass, which Bridges anticipated. And they're really not playing well offensive-minded basketball. That's what the problem is. Very similar to what happened to Houston in that last game against Golden State. You ride high, you win a game finally in Golden State, and then you're scoring like 85 to 90 points in the Game 7, and 85 to 90 points is not going to get it done. They had a scoreless drought, guys, of like 8 minutes in the fourth quarter. That is so un-Celtic-like basketball, especially the last 5 years. And they have to rectify that. I mean, they were I think for the whole quarter, they ended up like 2 for 15, which is unacceptable at home in a Game 2 when you lost Game 1 already.
6 points for the Celtics the last 8.5 minutes of the game, where the Knicks outscored them 23-6. Charlie, that's a 16-point deficit with 8.5 minutes to go. I mean, but one thing you know about it, Kaluch, look, hey, when it's tight, the Knicks, just keep it close. Because it is one team's way more comfortable, aggressive, effective. It's not even close when the game's tight late.
Yeah, definitely. And, the Knicks, though, do have, I don't know if you guys saw that, the number one free clutch player down the stretch in Jalen Brunson, in that he is a go-to guy. So if the game gets real close, that's another factor where you do have Tatum and Brown, don't get me wrong, but you don't want to start trading baskets with a Jalen Brunson who's very clutch. That's his whole, what he hangs his hat on. He is one of the best clutch players in the NBA. And the Knicks, really, they've had a team effort down the stretch last night. They really didn't just rely on him. But when you start going shot for shot down the stretch, that's another tough out. Celtics have to maintain these large leads. So do the Cavaliers, so do OKC. But it seems like it's more difficult in this round as opposed to the first round. These teams are opening up leads, and I just don't understand how they can't finish teams off.
Hey, you guys, y'all tired of counting your money? I mean, we're getting reports. I mean, the house is just printing money with these money line parlays and everything else. It's been a bloodbath for the money lines.
Yeah, but let's keep in mind that baseball is still right there, guys.
Oh, this guy. Oh, my goodness.
You still have to overcome that. The parlays, you're knocking down some of these parlays, but, you have these teams, the Dodgers 25-12, Phillies 21-15. Detroit now all of a sudden is a juggernaut. They cover the run line every night, 23-13. I mean, we knew they'd be improved. But, I mean, at this level, it's unbelievable. Atlanta right at the ship. They're only 2 games under 500 now. Cubs are still playing consistent, and a lot of people back them. So, when you're dealing with that, and we're lucky the Vegas Golden Knights lost, because if they start to win games, it becomes even more difficult. But, yes, so far the NBA has been very good to us bookmakers. I'm not complaining. But it's only a couple of games, guys. OKC still covered last night. And they're recovering.
Oh, my God. Charlie, let's go live to our most recent Powerball winner. Here's Dwayne Colucci complaining about the taxes.
Yeah,
my goodness. I mean, this guy, huh?
Powerball winner. Let's get Chris Andrews on the show with me next week to tell you how we lost for 5 straight months. And now we're Powerball winners because we knocked the public down. Three nights in the second round. What happened in the first round of the NBA playoffs, gentlemen? Outside of knocking down Laker futures, we still have these Golden State futures that are hanging around.
Don't worry about those.
Don't kid yourself. No. The NBA, when you're the all right, you really still think OKC is not going to win the title? Question, serious question. You guys laugh when I ask serious questions. OKC has won more games by 10 points or more. I think it's about 58 now this year. Think about that. That's a covering machine. That's what you call that. The Dodgers every night covering a machine.
Dwayne, we know that you have some, and I saw one report. It was, I think, Patrick Everson, who's a contributor to our show as well for VegasInsider.com, and he posted like it was like a six-figure ticket on the Dodgers where they lost like I think 5-4 to the Marlins a couple of nights ago. I've gotten some other reports about some six-figure bets on some of these money lines.
Just straight Rampart or South Point.
That's what I'm asking. That's what I'm asking. You're not getting some of those. Some of those.
Around town, he goes to every single book in town. If it's not at Rampart at South Point, guys, I don't want to be.
So you're not getting many. Okay, that's what I'm asking.
I don't care. I mean, you're picking the one game of the week that they lost. And what about if the guy bet six figures every game of the series? The Dodgers, they won 8 in a row up until that game. So you don't have many of those bridge jumpers at the. No, I mean, we're not going to allow it. First of all, I mean, it's just stupid to book like that. In my opinion, you're dealing with major corporations. When Patrick Everson goes to Caesars or MGM Bets, they have 100 properties throughout the United States, guys. They're booking all over the world. So, yeah, they're able to book those. We are brick and mortar here. We will book 5 figures. Chris might do 6 figures if it is a 3-to-1 or 2-to-1 line. Yes. I'm not going to say Chris would not do it. I'm sure he would throw it, bounce it off the wall, bounce it off of Mr. Gone, definitely. But these bridge jumpers, I mean, to show one ticket, Patrick Everson showing one ticket out of the whole United States betting the Dodgers on the 8 prior games on run line, money line, propositions. Who cares about that one customer that lost to one at a corporation?
You pull for the Rockies, Annie?
Oh, the Rockies, Jesus, they're another guy. I mean, 29, guys. What about the White Sox? What about when the ball hit the guy in the face? I mean, that was like, and they had a close-up video. The guy looked like he was like stoned on the field. I mean, what are the White Sox in Colorado doing to baseball right now? And I'm not even complaining as a bookie because you have to lay so much against these teams. I mean, case in point tonight, 240 Kansas City, a 22-16 team against 10-27. Then you have Colorado. I mean, Detroit. I only 165. I mean, we're going to get up.
All right, enough baseball. Let's get to the horses. Where I was on the coast, it was a record crowd. It was unbelievable. Did you guys have the same thing at the South Point and Rampart as far as your crowd, your handle, the excitement for Derby Day?
Yeah, definitely, guys. It was, I want to say, my highest handle in the last 10 years. It was unbelievable.
Okay.
And, we did promote it very well here at the Rampart, credit to the marketing team. Myself, Bob Ike, we went around. We were on every major television station in the Las Vegas area. I was on several broadcasts, yours included, that throughout the United States, trying to get people to commute to Las Vegas and beat that crowd at Churchill Downs. Like I said, the qualified players, we comp the racing forms, free parking, drink tickets. I mean, how do you beat Las Vegas, Kentucky Derby time? I've had some of my patrons that have been recently entertaining, going to the Kentucky Derby, and the prices are just astronomical, guys. Well, you have to fight that 200,000, person crowd. So, yeah, our handle was exceptional. The state handle, I believe, was up as well. So that's a good sign for horse racing. But, now you have the drawback where the Preakness never handles as much. Sovereignty is skipping the Preakness, so that's going to hurt handle as well. But thank you to all my patrons. The Kentucky Derby was amazing at the Rampart.
Our colleague Mad Dog Russo, man, he was all over Sovereignty for and the connections for not putting them in the Preakness, saying you owe it and things like that. It's easy to gamble with other people's chips, but your thoughts on and then Michael Bachok told us on Monday, said I don't expect him to run in the Preakness, and a day later they ruled him out. Your thoughts on him not running in the Preakness?
Yeah, Michael's definitely, he knows everything about horse racing. He's one of the best, and, I converse with him on Twitter a lot. Really respect him. Chris, I know for years, Mad Dog, he's a great mind, but, you don't want to get out of control and lose focus that it is about the horse's safety. And, I definitely think it hurts the sport. It was shocking coming from the Godolphin ownership, not as much Belmont. But you're doing what's right for the horse. And keep in mind, guys, the Belmont Stakes this year is at Saratoga. So if you do complete the Triple Crown sweep, you're going to have an asterisk because the Belmont Stakes is much shorter this year than it is compared to when it's held at Belmont Park. So,
right.
That may have come into the thought process as well. And now if you start tinkering with separating the races more than 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and go to 3 weeks, 4 weeks, you're always going to have an asterisk, and that will definitely hurt the integrity and the popularity of the Triple Crown itself. So I understand the safety of the horse, but the ownership, that's very shocking to come from. I figured they would go for a chance to win the Triple Crown, but if the horse is exhausted, it doesn't return quick or, off a short layoff period. It definitely is the right decision. I'm a bookmaker, so I want to see everything entertaining, everything out there. But the safety of the horse comes first. I can't discredit here Belmont's thought process. And like I said, probably if he won the next 2 legs, he'd have a...
All right, Dwayne, we're almost out of time. Hockey picks before we go to break.
Yeah, definitely. Very difficult tonight. Knights are up against it, I'll be honest with you. They need to win this game, but they didn't show up in the third period. Capitals, once again at home. I'll take the plus tonight. Let's take Washington, guys.
Okay.
Plus 145. I'm seeing minus 165. Even some 170s out there. So shop around. Take the big plus. Logan Thompson is still playing lights out and could still keep them in a game. I think they have a massive chance. You got to win one at home. Vegas sold the Knights, I feel the same, but Edmonton put the pedal to the metal, and Vegas needs to rectify a few problems. Keep in mind, Petro didn't play the other night. That's huge at the blue line, and they're definitely going to need Dorofeyev also to be, stronger than what he was. If these 2 guys sit, Edmonton's going to win the game.
All right. We'll be looking for you Saturday on Twitter for your pictures with your Spike Lee glasses and you get up, getting ready for Game 3.
Got a good parking spot for the IRA.
Yes. We got you a good parking spot at the Rampart. All right, boy. We appreciate it. Follow Dwayne on Twitter at NYBookieDwayne, at NYBookieDwayne. Don't forget our friends at Legacy Title, Chad Reynolds, Legacy Title for all of you real estate closings, 296-0060. Full-service title company servicing all of South Louisiana. Ashley Bonham-Donald, Mariana Broussard-Haynes, Adrian Reese-Galata, Michael Platt, Natalie and Bradford Smith. Buying, building, refinancing. Nobody chooses but you. Choose Chad Reynolds and Legacy Title. He called our phone system a catastrophe.
Coming from a Cowboys fan. Oklahoma 4-1 in the top of the 6th. Live at lunch here from Walk-Ons 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Lunch with Ott and Hanny from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Well, LSU finally broke through with a hit in the top of the 6th inning. It's 4-1 Oklahoma, bottom of the 6th. Had a couple of
time right at the plate.
Yeah, they did. They had a couple of walks and what I thought should have been an error, but I think they ruled it a hit. 4-1 Oklahoma in the bottom of the 6th inning. And the Pirates have fired their manager. That has just come across the
we didn't get a chance to talk about Skeens yesterday, but he pissed his behind off, but still gets a loss. No room for error, man.
Yeah,
no room for error.
Hour number 2, straight ahead from Walk-Ons, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
I already got a little Arkansas flavor in the house here today for the big series this weekend with LSU and Arkansas. I got some Hog fans showing the colors here at Walk-On. It's going to be a great crowd, great weekend for LSU and Arkansas starting tomorrow night.
They're doing shots already. They're stumbling out of here already, Charlie. These damn with these hog hats. Let's
hog calling.
So to Henry Hayes, the NBA is on fire right now. Henry, how? This is, Adam Silver, just what the doctor ordered with this, huh? And when you got these great comebacks, it includes your number 1 media market team as well.
Well, hang on, Jimmy. I'm just finalizing your birthday present. Okay, Amazon, just bought it. So, sorry. Okay, I got your birthday present.
What you got my birthday? What did you get me?
Your JJ Redick jersey.
Oh, wait. When I missed the parade, I'm sorry. Coach of the Year parade. He's on float number 1. The Grand Marshal is Palenka. He's the Executive of the Year. And then, the King. We know who the King is. So how is the league surviving with the Lakers at home, huh, Henry?
Somehow, some way, the league carries on. But I heard you get after my guys pretty good, and they deserved it. But hey, there's better storylines this week.
Yeah, I mean, look, man, I'm sorry, but I mean, Reddick, that was. I mean, it just can we let this thing? Let's digest a little bit of this. It was just this rush to judgment on him. But when you do something as extreme as that, which no one's ever done in the history of the damn league, no, I mean, it doesn't work. And I mean, my favorite was that call that went against LeBron. I think it was Game 4, where it was out on Minnesota, but there was a foul before with like 3 seconds to go or 5 seconds, and so they got 2 free throws, Minnesota. Remember that one?
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that LeBron's gotten his fair share of calls, so we can let.
No, he didn't. He didn't get this one. So we know he was so damn tired he didn't even argue. All right, let's get to the games. What do you make of this, man? I mean, this is historic proportions with these visiting teams. I mean, big double-digit dogs winning outright, left and right.
Well, I'm glad you asked your man in the last segment, are they still counting the money? Because I think a lot of people had OKC and the Boston in a Game 2 parlay because there's no way both those teams are going to lose on their home floor. Well, obviously, Oklahoma City more than took care of business, and that game was over from jump. And then Boston, they play with their food too much, man. This team, I've got a lot of thoughts on this, but despite the fact that they won it last year, I've never loved their leadership. I think Jason Tatum is a really good player, but I mean, you talked about it a little bit earlier. It's like, just settling, running those possessions way too deep in the shot clock, getting up and then taking your foot off the gas, taking too many ill-advised threes. I mean, it's starting to kind of add up. And then, look, Jimmy, you and I have been following the league for a long, long time. It's hard to flip the switch in this league. The Lakers, the Kobe Lakers could do it. Shaq, that early 2000s, they won 3 in a row, but they almost got caught playing with fire a couple times. And I just don't think Boston's good enough to do that. And sometimes they just, whether it's bad shots or letting a team back in a game, it's hard to repeat, right? And they're not going to repeat playing like that, obviously.
Shane Mack's isn't here to speak ill of Jason Tatum. That's his favorite in the NBA. He's off today, though.
Okay. All right. There's a bunch of things coming in. All right. The first thing is, all right, when you miss a record number of threes in Game 1, that's one thing. I mean, you shot 60. 38% of your shots were twos. The percentage of shots of twos, that went up to 57%. Okay, in Game 2. I saw 3 straight possessions where they got to the goal and they're finishing. It wasn't like a layup, but they didn't even touch the rim because it was either blocked or affected. They've got some finishing issues as well, Henry. I mean, they don't have guys like OG Anunoby. They just threw the thunder down on that charge one time. So, I mean, and look, when you get a wide open 3 like Tatum did late in the game, I mean, you got to pull it. I mean, but it's, and people are just saying, well, it's the same thing. Well, they changed their approach. They talked about changing their approach. They talked about settling after too much for Game 1. So, and you still saw 6 points in the last 8.5 minutes.
Yeah, look, this is the worst matchup for Boston. Why? Because, if you follow the league, New York wants nothing more than to be relevant. It's been a long time. Number 2, they play like Jalen Brunson plays. Undersized, chip on his shoulder, tough, going to make you earn everything, talk some smack. That place, MSG, when it gets going, look out. So this is the word, this isn't Orlando coming for Boston, right? This is the little big brother. And so we're going to see what Boston's made of. Now, having said all that, Jimmy, and Charlie, you've heard me say this many times on your show, you got to take the crown off the King's head. And Boston won that title for a reason, and so don't count them out just yet. But I scratch my head, Jimmy, at sometimes how Boston plays, because it's a combination of they're too cool for school, and then it's a combination of just bad basketball IQ, which you wouldn't equate to a team that was a title winner. So, and then the Holiday edition, you would think that's as steady and a veteran presence as we have in the league. I mean, he is all business. He's got a very high basketball IQ, but Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum make the most money on that team. So, it's going to be fun to watch Game 3, that's for sure.
How much do we overvalue the title, though, considering that easy cake path that the Celtics had last year?
Yeah, a lot of injuries, and they walked to the conference finals and then through that. Giannis is hurt, so that's a good point. Now, having said that, you still got to give respect to the team that finishes the tournament. So they did it, but that is fair. I mean, it was
okay. But Dallas is like the fifth best team in the West too,
right? And with Luka and the merry band of Lukaites that he took to that final. So no, it's a fair point, Jimmy. And look, Porzingis is not the same this year. Certainly not right now. So we see that Jaylen Brown's banged up. So they're going to have their work. And look, they're going to step into a madhouse at MSG. You can book that. This will be the toughest ticket in the Garden, I think, in probably, maybe some of the Jeremy Lin games. But, I mean, this is going to be a tough ticket.
Oh, without it. They're dancing in the streets after they stole Game 1 against the Pistons. I mean, yes. They're going to be like maniacs on that one. At least they put it at 3:30 local time. It's a Saturday afternoon game.
Yeah,
I think when we're judging the crawfish boil on Saturday, we're going to have to, be monitoring this thing.
They see an opening. This is just my opinion. They see an opening. There's not a juggernaut team out there. If there was, the favorite in the East, it's Boston, and they've got them down 2-0. They don't see a team on the other side that they don't think that they can beat. Okay, Oklahoma City would be favored. Obviously, Minnesota would probably be favored, but they don't think that they're unbeatable because they haven't won before. If there was a peak Steph Curry Warriors team out there or a peak Cleveland LeBron team, you might say, well, we won a couple of games, but we don't have a chance. They see a path here. Well, if they play well, they could get to the end.
Well, Boston was all the credentials. Boston was still the favorite. And they went to their place and beat them. And man, listen, Boston better win and close out comfortably because when it's tight, how tight do they look, Henry, at the end of the game? I mean, Mikal Bridges looks like Honey Badger out there playing defense officer. He does nothing for 40 minutes, and then he's on fire. And I thought it was really, really interesting when Larry Brown says, I like the Knicks. And they had a good team, and they added Karl Anthony Towns. Oh, I remember in 2004, he added the biggest head case, the biggest bipolar, but a hell of a talent. And Karl Anthony Towns is a problem to deal with for the Boston Celtics.
You're talking about Rasheed Wallace?
Yes, Rasheed Wallace. I'm sorry, I intertwined those two.
Yeah, Rasheed was one of the first bigs, Jimmy, that could step out to 24 feet and make you go guard him. And I had a lot of attitude, obviously, with him. But, the Towns trades worked out. I mean, New York, you got to go get him at 24 feet, and he could post you up. He's got the up and under game. Obviously, defensive liability, but they've made it work. And, again, as Jalen Brunson goes, that team. But I'll tell you this, Jimmy. If any of your listeners want to get a ticket down, I don't think you must look much further than Oklahoma City. The way they bounce back in Game 2, and I've seen this a few times look, you and I have talked about this a lot over the years. Jordan's Bulls had to get their butts kicked by Isaiah's Pistons. Those Laker team took black eyes from the Celtics. You gotta get some playoff scars before you step up and earn one. And the way that Oklahoma City team, that starting lineup is younger than Auburn's this year, amongst several other college basketball teams. And yet, the way those guys came out, that first half of that basketball game was the best offensive I've seen all season. And so I think those guys are on a mission. They're young, but, boy, I would not want to play them.
It's funny you mentioned the Jordan Bulls because what I thought about last night during the game, you remember the first title the Bulls won in the finals. They played the Lakers, and they lost Game 1.
Yeah.
I want to say Sam Perkins hit a shot at the end, but the Lakers kind of barely got by, and then the Bulls steamrolled them after that.
Yeah.
In the next 4 games
a home loss
to win their first. To win their first title. It feels kind of like the beginning of that. Denver kind of stole one. They shouldn't have won that first game, but they did. They got to give them credit. The old champs, just like those Lakers were the old champs, but the young Bucks are ready to get them now. And that's just that's what it reminded me of last night.
And I love, Charlie, the way their team is made up. I mean, obviously you could argue SGA's the MVP. Certainly he's top 2 or 3 in the league. But then you've got Holmgren's playing his role, and their bench is deep. And oh, by the way, that team, guys, has 2 first-rounders this draft, and they have 13 more in the next 5 years.
They've got more picks than anybody over the next 5 years by a lot.
Yeah, but they play hard, and I love the way SGA runs that team. We'll see, but my money's on them.
Who's your money on in Boston Knicks? The series is a pick 'em right now.
Yeah, Jimmy, because it's going back to the Garden and because of Brunson, I would bet the Knicks to win this series. They play so hard, and guys like Hart and the way Thibodeau doesn't use that bench, I don't. In other words, they're not going to quit playing hard, and I don't think Boston all of a sudden takes a bunch more 2s. I think they're in their locker room. They say, "Look, some of these fall, some don't. We want it this way. We're going to keep playing the way we play." But the 50-50 balls, the charges, all the emotional plays, how can you not like the Knicks?
Tatum, so you clear out. Okay, you're coming out of timeout, they need a bucket. It's half-court game. Tatum's going to have the ball in his hands. Brunson is better at creating higher quality shots than Tatum is. Tatum can. He just, forget, this team won, this defended champion. The Knicks have a huge advantage when the game is close down the stretch.
And Jimmy, don't forget, it was a subtle sign this summer when Steve Kerr benched Jason Tatum on Team USA. It was kind of almost embarrassing for a first-team All-NBA guy.
Oh, they talked about it a lot.
Well, not see the floor. And usually it goes the other way. You put a guy like that on a team like Team USA, and he has kind of a next level that he reaches. Tatum was the other way. And part of the whispers were doesn't play hard all the time, kind of subconsciously selfish, So I agree with you. I think Brunson he knows exactly how to hunt those matchups, and he knows what sets to get them in. Rarely makes the wrong play. So I just think with 2 games at MSG, they split those. Actually, is it 3 or 2? Is it 1-1-1 on the back end?
Yes, yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know how you bet against the Knicks because they play so hard.
Well, again, and Porzingis is, he's got food poisoning too. His tummy's hurting, so he can only play 10 minutes a game.
Wait, he said I've had this illness lingering since February. What does that mean? He said that. He's been sick since February. It's a hell of a case of the flu.
I don't know. But you could tell when he got in the game last night. They tried to use him. Tell you another thing, though. When he has it, and Karl Anthony Towns, here's the thing. Be careful. I never want to be in a situation where I have to depend on him. But the Knicks needed something. They needed to take a chance to try and get them over the hump, with their roster. And, man, Porzingis didn't want it. They tried. He didn't want to try and take Karl Anthony Towns. So Towns, who was a disaster in the regular season defensively, when he was on the court for the Knicks, they were so bad. They were so worse than the worst team in their defensive efficiency. But at least he's holding his own. He's getting he has a freaking load, and he can shoot. The highest free throw percentage in the history of a college freshman, 82.2%. For a 7-foot freshman when he was at Kentucky. So, he's given them. Rasheed Wallace was. I'm just saying, man. He's a problem to
Jimmy,
deal with.
Credit Towns, because make no mistake, that is Jalen Brunson's team. Meaning, I don't care how much money Karl Anthony Towns makes, that's Brunson's team. So if you don't play, as hard as he does, so credit Towns for kind of falling in line and not sulking and making the best of that situation. Because you're right, that's a nice piece to kind of plug in when you need, to change the game. So, but credit Towns because they've made that work.
All right. What is it? Is this a personality conflict? These guys don't like this guy for some reason, or they're just dumb. The most overrated player in the league is Halliburton. Okay. Really? How is he in the clutch? He's not too bad, is he?
Yeah, it's like saying you want a Ferrari with cloth seats. Okay, fine. Halliburton's plenty fine. And look, Indiana's kind of the armpit of the NBA. They don't get a lot of, folks aren't following them. But look, man, they play hard. That roster works. He knows what he's doing. He's in charge of that team. So, yeah, say what you will, but here they are deep into mid-May. And so
is Cleveland done?
I think so. Look, I don't think enough has gotten played. Injuries, but look, they're playing with one arm time behind their back. I mean, and look, you know this, Jimmy. The regular season is a lot different than the playoffs. It's really two different things. And we've always said this: when teams play as hard as Cleveland, it's fine, and you can win some games. But come playoff time, the smart coaches and the smart staff think, look, I want my roster healthy and ready to roll, and they'll roll the dice, as opposed to, they're worn out, they're injured, they're hurt, they're on the shelf. And so that's what's happening to Cleveland. I think they're done. I think Indiana moves on.
And your best player is playing his best. I mean, Mitchell can't play any better than he played the other night, and they still lost.
And he's banged up. He's kind of worn down as well. Just bad luck, or just too much on the regular season success not translating to the postseason for Cleveland.
Yeah, I think it's health. I mean, they play hard. This team's and they've overachieved. Let's be honest. I mean, nobody had them on the run they went in the regular season. But Charlie just said it. I mean, what more do you want out of your best player? 48? I mean, come on. So I think Indiana kind of has them right where they want them, and I think they move on.
T-Wolves or Golden State in the series?
Boy, the Curry injury, that hamstring really changes things, Jimmy. So you say, does Hield and Butler have enough, right, to step in and take over? I don't think so.
He's hurt. Don't you think, Henry?
I do, yeah. And I don't think Anthony Edwards can play worse. We'll see if the young man can mature, because, look, his coach called him out. I mean, there's no hiding it. He said, Edwards got to play harder. And that's Finch knows exactly what he's doing. So we'll see if he's mature enough to take the criticism. But shame on the Wolves if they don't beat them now, because so much of what Golden State does is predicated on Curry's ball movement, his scoring, his ability to make plays for others. And God, that guy's he's so important to what they do. So without him, boy, I really love the Wolves.
Yeah, I mean, it was a bad approach. And you control, and that just, I mean, whether it was for a whole game with Boston in game one and the first half, I mean, geez. I mean, that was, look, your shot's not working, attack the rim. He did in the second half, but too little, too late. So it was it's tough. Would you lay the 10 tonight? I mean, it's going to be one of these ugly ones where you have this Golden State exhale spot.
And Jimmy, I think that the Draymond Green kind of veteran style of the Warriors, if they get down early, they're going to punt, because they know they need energy to try to salvage this thing. So I would lay the 10. I just think that you got to smell blood in the water if you're the Wolves, and you got to get on them early, because I think Golden State will probably raise the white flag. So this to me screams of a 20-21 point T-Wolves win.
So LeBron calling out Luka for being heavy already, huh? I mean, trouble in paradise already, huh?
The last time one Lakers superstar called the other one out for being heavy, Shaq got traded. So.
Well,
I don't think they can trade LeBron.
One, maybe 2 years left, and then the keys are handed to Luka. So, I'm glad the ink's dry on LeBron's contract. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Look, I mean, well, what are you, 42-year-old? What do you do? He has to play every second, the whole second half.
He's still in shape.
Oh my goodness! All right, Henry, great stuff, man. It's been wild. I mean, can't say and nobody's ever seen this. I mean, nobody's ever seen this kind of crap going on in the NBA. It's been fun though. It's been really good basketball.
When the money's on the table, Jimmy, and the best athletes in the world play as hard as they can, there's not a better sport. Now, I get it. My buddies bang me on the regular season's long, but in the playoffs, when the money's on the table, and those are the best athletes in any sport, yeah, you got to watch.
And listen, these guys that are hurt now, no, they would be playing, okay? They'd be playing now. I mean, you get some of the unfair criticism because they're so bad during the regular season with playing when they could be playing. All right, so you get what you get. But, no, these guys are hurt now. I mean, it's Cleveland being Cleveland. They're looking to throw stones at everybody right now. I saw so-and-so, Mobley. He got up and he was cheered. He's good enough to play, stuff like that. So, no, these guys are legitimately hurt if they can't go right now. Great stuff.
But it's going to be fun.
All right, buddy. Appreciate it. Take care.
Okay, guys.
All right, don't forget our friends Total Maintenance. Charlie, that Sunday and Monday little cool snap for the 4th and 5th of May is over. It's over. It was warm and humid this morning when I was getting Bill pulling in the garbage cans and things like that. Well, EJ gets his beauty sleep. But anyway, Total Maintenance, it breaks down. call Total Maintenance, 480-1000. The great thing is you're supporting one of our great supporters. 480-1000. That unit breaks down. They've been doing it for a long time, since 1980. My buddy Lucas Ragusa, we've been doing this for a long time. I sat in the Superdome with Lucas for the NFC Championship game with the Saints, Charlie. The Saints. Remember the Saints were good? Remember that?
I've
when
seen
they went
video.
to the Super Bowl?
I've seen video, yeah.
So give them a call, 480-1000. Service today, every day means same-day service, means you'll never sleep hot. Total Maintenance, that AC unit breaks down, 480-1000.
Live at the original Walk-Ons, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
So the Tiger softball team eliminated from the SEC tournament by Oklahoma 4-1. Sam Landry, UL Lafayette transfer in for her senior season at Oklahoma, was the winning pitcher today. She only gave up one hit and one run. This is a crazy number. They put this up on TV. Oklahoma, this game is in Georgia. They rotate the SEC softball tournament to home sites. They don't put it in one place like the baseball tournament. So they're in Athens. This is the first time that they have won a softball game in the postseason outside the state of Oklahoma in 8 years. Because the Big 12 tournament is played at the same stadium as the College World Series in Oklahoma City.
And make more money.
And, of course, with their dominance, they haven't had to travel for a regional since 2016. So you said that in the last hour. So they're great. Okay, nobody's saying, but they played. How would LSU do in the College World Series if it was in New Orleans? They have a pretty partisan crowd,
Baton
right?
Baton Rouge North.
Out
Box North or whatever. They've got. I think I went to the last national championship game where they were clearly outnumbered, 93 against Wichita State. That was.
I didn't go. That's the last.
It was
game,
like 10-1.
That's the last game that they've played in Omaha that I haven't been up there. 93.
Well,
I made the trip in 93
or
94.
Is it one? LSU had to. They didn't clinch till
the day before.
16 hours before.
Yeah.
The
classic game with Long Beach State.
Yeah. And so Wichita State was in earlier. It's drivable from Kansas. They had just been there in 91, played LSU again.
They'd won it in 89. Stevenson won his title in 89.
And they were favorites, considerable favorites, because they had Travis Wyckoff, their ace, against Laxton, who got knocked out early in the first game against Texas A&M. But Soraka was done. But they.
He put him on his back there for half the week.
Yeah. Because they got very little out of Larson. Laxton until the championship. But no, it was all the outfield was Wichita State general admission. That drove up just again, and it was 10-1. Something like that. So not that way anymore. I guess we'll see. We see that the SEC. What was it last year? It was pretty even, huh? Or A&M probably had more, huh?
Tennessee didn't travel as well as we thought in 23 when LSU played against it. We thought they would travel better that year. I thought they traveled a little bit better last year. I honestly don't remember what the crowd makeup was. A&M and
it's kind of split.
Tennessee in the,
it's kind of split.
finals.
I remember, But when Ole Miss plays Oklahoma, here they come. Mississippi State plays. Was it? Who did they beat?
Who did they beat in the finals?
Was it Vandy? Yeah.
It wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They brought them. I mean,
and they had made the finals before. They made the finals the year LSU
UCLA
2013. They had made the finals and UCLA beat them. I think with the Southeastern Conference.
Arkansas, when they went to play Virginia, they had a busload of people there, man.
And when they made the finals against Oregon State in 2018, when they were the pop fly away from winning
I would
the
think
title,
both of those, yeah.
They bring a ton of LSU, Tennessee, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Vanderbilt twice, and Florida.
Just
in the last 10 years.
Vandy's just private school, doesn't have that enrollment, that alumni base that the other schools do.
They bring one guy that everybody hates.
Yeah.
The cat that whistles.
Yes.
But everybody else, it's been.
Yeah, man. Transfer portal. This is
even for the best teams. Nobody.
Well, no, even for the lower profile sports. I mean, yeah. Here you go. The best team is cherry picking. One of the better. 3-year starter. I mean, right from jump, she led him in wins at ULL. So she's from Texas, not from Louisiana.
Yeah,
so.
and you get a chance to go play for a team you know is going to be there, and you can be a big contributor. It's pretty hard to turn down, right?
I mean, Oklahoma, just the whole, they're going to have more resources. They're going to have better training, going to have better nutrition type of setup. I mean, the whole thing. It's just you can't blame it. This should not drive people crazy. If your kid started at Ohio University and, man, was busting it behind, he just got overlooked. It happens every year in every sport, in every program that program should recruit more, that they don't. And then he gets it, and he's busting his behind, and he goes to Florida. And is a great player. I mean, I'm sorry, to Alabama. How can you blame him?
You can't.
Your kid, you'll be right there. Absolutely.
I was reading a piece yesterday about college basketball mid-majors that averaged more than 15 points a game last year. Anybody that would outside of a power conference that didn't transfer. There's like 8 of them.
I know.
Okay, in the whole country, everybody moves. I mean, if you stay at a smaller school, you're the outlier.
We talk about the makeups of the Auburns and the Alabamas and the Floridas with their success for the mid majors and stuff like that. But there's some teams that are missing on those guys as well. I mean, Kansas didn't feel the right pieces around. I mean, Kansas preseason number 1. Okay, so they didn't. Rutgers certainly didn't. Put it around. I mean, that's something to say. We got the 2 top 5 picks playing. I mean, so
how in the hell did they not make the tournament?
Charlie, I'm just trying to tell you.
I know
they were good. They were good college players, but that was not a good team.
No, they weren't. And I'm trying to. When you've got 2 picks, you remember when Kentucky had the top 2 picks in the draft? The Anthony Davis team. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist went number 2 in the draft that year. That was Kentucky. That's the last team I remember. Had 2 guys in the top 5.
I think Anthony Davis is a better pro than these guys are going to be.
Yeah.
By a mile. By a mile.
Okay, but will the other guy be better than Kidd-Gilchrist? He was kind of a bust.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, it is. But it's a different game. You got some guys that are really good college players that don't have a chance to play.
I just think if you got 2 of the top 3 picks in the draft, you ought to at least
be
in the top 64 or 68.
Well, it's not the top. It's like the top 40.
Yeah, but shouldn't you be there? I mean,
you should.
Yeah,
you should. But they weren't close.
No, they were an awful team. I wanted to take a future on them. You talked me out of it. You saved me money.
Yeah, those guys.
No, they're not good.
Those guys, and they weren't boss. They were good. They weren't like.
Their draft stock has not been altered at all by this.
No, they're second and third picks.
Yeah, they have not moved down despite the team's
shortcomings. They're the best 2 players in college basketball after Cooper Flagg. Were they?
It's not too prospect. No,
these guys weren't as good as the guard from. These guys weren't as good as Johnny Broom.
No,
but Johnny Broom, his game doesn't translate
to the.
I mean, he's going to be one of those players. It just doesn't. He's a much better college player than his pros. And listen, the supporting cast, they had nothing around him. Because the coach is not terrible. I've seen him take a pretty weak roster or a much weaker roster and get them. It just didn't. It didn't flow. And these guys weren't selfish. They didn't take super bad. They just weren't good, and they never got one bit better. And I thought at one time they would. Don't forget our friends over at Supreme Rice. Man, it is the parboiled rice, Supreme Rice. And so, Ethan was over the other day and said, I want to, give me some grilled chicken breasts and do those. We could do with some rice and fat. Okay. So I did a bunch of batch of parboiled rice and put them in the freezer. So all I got to do is put them in the microwave when he's ready to do his stuff, and made some vegetables and chicken and all that good stuff. So that parboiled rice, it's a difference maker in my kitchen, man. It is a long grain, firm rice. I love it, man. It's that restaurant quality rice that I've been looking for years and years and years of cooking. Man, it works. Check it out. It's at all the area grocery stores in town. The Rouse's, where I do my shopping right down the street, they've got it. Wherever the rice department, wherever you find all the Supreme rice. And man, we're looking out for. It's Louisiana rice. You're supporting Louisiana rice farmers, and you're supporting future Louisiana rice farmers as well.
That's because Supreme Rice is part of the Climate Smart program that is reducing methane emissions and promoting water conservation. Look for the packaging that says Climate Smart from Supreme Rice. For more information and great recipes, go to the website, supremerice.com. Live at the original Walk-Ons, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Lunch with Ott and Hanny from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
This Sunday is Mother's Day. Did you think of something yet? If you haven't, we got some advice for you. The Thibodeau store, the Pierre Part store, have Cypress furniture, custom-made Cypress furniture, rocking chairs, benches, gliders, swings. Yeah, all of this is available at both of the stores. Now, you're going to have to get down there a little bit late to talk about delivery, but they are available right now. It's something special that Mom will be able to use all year round, and some really cool stuff, some stuff you can't get anywhere else.
Front porch, back patio, the yard, the field. I mean, you name it, man, and it's they love it. It's something that functional. And you remember, let's go on a swing that my sweet child, gave it to us for Mother's Day. I mean, it's something thoughtful. It's relaxing for Mom. Come on, man. It's a big sellers this time of the year.
Well, there's things you can put out in the yard, and you say, Mom, come outside and see what we got for you for Mother's Day.
How about that, huh?
900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodeau.
Let's get Josie a swing instead of, hey, come see outside. Oh, great, Charlie. What do you want me to do with the water slide? You want me to slide all day, Charlie?
I'll bring the swing. Say, hey, come on! I'll give you the swing while my brother cooks for Mother's Day on Sunday.
Josie's playbook.
Yeah. Online shopping at Thibodeau stores. DoItBest.com/Thibodeau store. The Pirates have fired Derek Shelton, their manager. They're off to a 12-26 start. They're already 10 games back of that juggernaut in Chicago in the NL Central. One of the things it says we want to fix this now. We believe a change is necessary now. This is out of the statement from Pittsburgh. Jimmy,
how can he get the lineup to produce more? I mean, those guys want to hit. They're trying to hit. I mean, they're
the
just
second
not good
worst
enough.
offense in the National League behind Colorado. We talked about Colorado. They are, at least for a month of the season, at a historically low win total pace, and that, considering what Chicago did last year, the White Sox, that's saying something. Listen, you can change managers all you want. You can change bench coaches, pitching coaches, all that stuff. You're 26 out of 30 teams in opening day payroll. I mean, you're
26 out of 30. Yeah,
26 out of 30.
Yeah,
and until you. There's only so much you could do. I mean, who do you think is the greatest manager in the history of baseball? I mean, I don't know, Walter Alston or Joe Torre or Connie Mack. I mean, Leo DeRocha. All you can do is all you can do with the talent that you're given. And I hate the fact that, and I got no allegiance to the Pittsburgh Pirates other than I like watching Paul Skeens pitch. But I just hate that in 2025, the story is already where Skeen's going to go in 2029.
I know. Well, I mean,
it's 4 years from now.
You could just see it coming, though, Charlie.
Sure. They're not going to pay him even if he wins multiple Cy Youngs. We didn't have time. We
could lose a record this year.
Yeah.
I mean, and he's an all-star. Not even close. He's not the Cy Young leader. He's one of odds on. One of the. He's in contention, but. He's got to lose a record.
With an ERA, 260 something?
277.
277 and a whip under 1, so he's allowing less than one base runner per inning.
The whip is the same as it was last year, so he's not walking anybody, but he is not striking out at the same rate he did a year ago. So, I mean, he's just under. He's got 47 strikeouts in 48 and 2 innings. So basically even, Steven. Okay, let's just call it. Give him benefit of the doubt. But even if you give him that, he struck out 37 more batters in innings pitched last year. So 170 and 133. That's 1.27 and now it's under 1. And I'm watching him the other Tuesday night, and he's got a 1-0 lead going into the 7th inning. But a couple of 4 pitch walks. He had like 3 walks in the game, but 4 pitch walks.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's just not quite as sharp. Listen, the bar is really high for this guy, okay? And he had historical. And the other thing is, so why is he pitching out? Yes, guys are getting more contact on the ball, but when he gets 2 strikes, man, the next pitch is going to be like, or the next 1 or 2 pitch, it's 50-50. These guys are more than not, they're going out. They're fighting off balls way more and really not having problems making contact or defending the plate. He's not just, when he gets 2 strikes last year, they were going down on strikes. It's not happening at that rate. And I'm just a little bit, not quite the crazy movement that he had last year, whatever it is, but he's not finishing off with that strikeout like he did last year.
And I asked
at the rate.
Yeah. And I asked you if he was pitching to contact, because you watch way more Major League Baseball than I do. I also wondered, just kind of aimlessly in spring training, where he's talking about experiment with all these new pitches.
It could be too much. Be overloading it.
And I don't know that that's the case, but I kind of wondered, do you really need 7 pitches? The 4 you had last year were plenty enough, and he doesn't throw that many changeups. He throws probably the last time I looked at a pitch chart, it was somewhere around 7% of his pitches were changeups. So it's not like he throws that a whole bunch. You throw that fastball, you throw that splinker, and you throw a changeup in there just enough to keep him honest, and that might be enough. He's got a slider. He got plenty. Okay, so I don't know.
.965 K rate last year. 0.965 this year is 1.27 last year. So look at about a 33% dip. So I mean, it's a little bit there, but I mean, no room for error. I mean, of course, 2 on, 2 out. Guy hits it, gets contact down the left field line, left-handed hitter. Just about 4 feet fair, 2-run double. Thanks for shopping. You get the loss. I mean, it's just.
And you're not where you can make a move. I mean, they're promoting the bench coach who's been there a long time, Don Kelly. You can't go out at the trade deadline and add 1 or 2 bats and have everything fixed. You're ahead of only a historically bad team. That's the only offense you're better than in the entire National League. So it's not like you can say, oh, well, go find somebody before the All-Star break or at the trade deadline and go add us a bat. And you need 6 bats.
Well, yeah, and a guy like O'Neal Cruz, it's 246. He's your star.
Yeah.
He's got to be killing it. He's not. McCutchen is on the door of retirement. I mean, Reynolds is a nice player, from Arkansas. Brian Reynolds, the right fielder. He's a nice player, Charlie. He's batting 219. He might be your best hitter on a team. Your most dependable hitter. Charlie Hayes' kid, Cabrine Hayes. I mean, he's breaking out this year at 254. It is. I mean,
you're not asking them to be the Dodgers. You're not asking them to have a payroll the size of the Mets, but you got to try a little bit, and they're just not trying at all.
They got to try a little bit more.
By try, I mean you got to spend some money. You have to spend some money. And you can develop and draft and all that stuff, but you got to spend some money.
What's the younger arm? He's been hurt this year. Not Keller, but the other, the kid from California. So he's been hurt, but, I mean, he can go out there and throw it. He could be another Skeens, but, I mean, for Paul Skeens, he's still – right now, if you had the Cy Young voting in the National League, probably your boy for the Dodgers. This is early Cy Young. Mm-hmm. He'd be the favorite. I mean, he'd win it. Yamamoto was throwing today at Arizona. Yeah. Skeens would probably be third, something like that. He's got a losing record.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about Andrew Haney, right? Is that are you talking about the other star?
No, Haney. No, Haney's a veteran. Haney's a veteran. This guy is it John Jones. Jones was the kid. They're the 1-2. They're close in age. In draft class, I think Jones was drafted 1 year before.
And he's not pitching.
Skeens. No, he hasn't. He's been hurt all year. So, I mean, I'm just talking about some kind of building blocks, some kind of pieces, for them. No, Haney's been lights out, but that's been kind of a surprise. But he's been around for a while.
He got an ERA just over 3. He's got a losing record too.
There you go. I mean, that lineup, bro, it is rough. Don't forget our friends at United Community Bank, right down the street at Burbank and Bluebonnet, their newest location. We've been serving the people of Southern Louisiana for over 50 years, with Baton Rouge here all the way down to Golden Meadow. Our great team of bankers: Prentice Wilkes, Heath Meir, Nicole Glover, Hunter Creed, David Campbell, David Henry. Yes, indeed. United Community Bank member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Live at the original Walk-Ons, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from the original Walk-Ons on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Got a new pope, Jimmy. Guess where he's from? His name is Robert Francis Prevost. Guess where he's from?
Croatia?
Chicago.
Oh, that's close.
He's from Chicago. He's from Chicago, and he went to Villanova.
Of course.
How about that? He has taken the name Pope Leo the 14th. So that's where all the best popes come
Was
from.
he on
right?
a bench
Chicago?
with Rolly Massimino?
Well, let's see. He was at Villanova in he was at Villanova in the 70s. He was a little bit before Raleigh won his title. He graduated in 77.
He may have recruited John Pannone.
And Eddie Pinckney?
Pinckney was that. Pannone was like that first one.
Is it before that?
Yeah, he had like shag carpet back. But anyway, Sam Burns -4, 2 behind. Your boy, Ricky Fowler. 6 under. Patrick Cantlay, one of our contributors, picks back at 4 under. Rory McIlroy 3 under through 6 early on in Pennsylvania.
Tomorrow we'll be at Rufino's. Thanks to our friends here at the original Walk-Ons. For Jordan and Jimmy, I'm Charles Hanniger saying thank you and good afternoon. Stay tuned for Hunt Palmer on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.